Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. This has been a long time coming for the Fitchburg Fire Department. Typically, we try to have these recognitions at least once a year, and with a variety of different issues, obviously COVID. This was the first opportunity that we had, and it's equally important for us to meet because of the fact that this is our 50th year of existence as a fire department. So it's an important time for us. We welcome you to the fire station, to station number 1, and are so very grateful that you're here to celebrate this time with us. I would like to recognize the fact that we have Alder Udell here, and notice how I said it right this time because I'm practicing. Julia Radafrada, 2 of our alders. Our city administrator, Chad Brecklin, is here. Am I missing anybody? I don't think that I am. I know the mayor's going to be speaking, but just wanted to take the time to also thank you for your support and for coming out this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to rise so that we can present our colors with the Fitchburg Fire Department Honor Guard. During the posting of the colors, we will be reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Face. Prepare for post colors. Ready? Post. Ready? Cover. Johnson. All uniformed personnel, present arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Ready? Face. Forward, march.
Please be seated. We are very fortunate in the Fitchburg Fire Department, not only the fire department, Fitchburg Police, Fitchburg EMS, to be served by and represented by 2 volunteer chaplains. I'm going to ask Susie and Dave to come up. Susie's going to be providing the invocation for today.
Before the invocation, we're going to begin with just a moment of silence for those who have served and are no longer with us. Let's do that now. Thank you.
Good evening, Chief Pulvermacher, Mayor Richardson, city staff and elected officials, honored guests, and the brave ladies and gentlemen of the Fitchburg Fire Department. I invite you to join me in this short invocation. Heavenly Father, Psalms 100 says that I enter your gates with thanksgiving. An attitude of sincere thanksgiving is so appropriate this time of year, and certainly this evening, as we honor 50 years of these brave men and women and those who have served before them in service to our community. I also echo Pastor Dave to especially honor and remember those who are no longer with us. It is a privilege for me to acknowledge the Lord's presence here this evening. Just like the dawn that will follow this night, my heart moves in honoring the distinguished legacy and past of the Fitchburg Fire Department. So with bright expectation and confidence in you for our community's future. So in the name of your Son, Jesus, I ask, where we are weak, make us strong. Where we are wavering, help us to find sure footing. May we believe in you may we believe you are so believable that we see your hand next to ours in all that we put our hands to. Let the extraordinary force for good bring unity where there is division, surety where there is fear, and comfort where there is loss. Continue to give wisdom to Chief Pulvermacher, Deputy Chief Grossen, the men and women of the Fitchburg Fire Department as they lead and make decisions for the good and the safety of our community. Finally, may your protection and grace continue to reside in our community, and when disaster arises, be near those brave women and men and their families as they put themselves between disaster and all of us. Amen.
Thank you, Susie. It's reassuring to see you are on your tiptoes because it makes me feel so much taller. One of the things that is truly humbling about this department is the service that is provided by those that come in to our stations every day. We have a mission to serve, to learn, to respect, and to lead. And it's at all of those levels that these firefighters perform. I'm so very grateful to have them in our service, and so very, it's just a blessing to be able to have them serve our community and to be able to work alongside of them. I'm going to ask Mayor Richardson to come up. He was once again one of the first persons to reach out and ask what could be done in this time of celebration. And thank you very much for dedicating your time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mayor of the City of Fitchburg, Aaron Richardson.
Thank you for having me. I really want to thank all of the people here at the Fitchburg Fire Department. The service that you provide for us as a city is invaluable. I also want to thank, though, all the loved ones here today supporting those people, because without your support, they couldn't do what they do for the city. So thank all of you as well. It's great to be here celebrating the 50th anniversary of the fire department. My uncle was actually one of the people who started the department 50 years ago. And not only was my uncle, he was my godfather and really a second father to me. Fortunately, he's not with us anymore, but I know that he'd be very proud to be here today and see what we have become, what we are today, and how far we've come in those 50 years. So again, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for all the service you provide to our residents. And it's really appreciative, and I know that our residents really appreciate you. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
One of the things that was brought up already is the fact that we have lost people. Mayor Richardson talked about his uncle. We obviously have people that we've known who have provided service. Some of the founding fathers of this department, specifically Chief Fund, who within the last 2 years passed away, who really truly initiated the effort that you see here today. We've had some very young firefighters, namely Grant Langer, who is no longer with us. Tremendous loss, but we can take the time to honor their service and to dedicate this ceremony to them. Lastly, I'd like to dedicate this ceremony to a police and fire commissioner who we recently lost, Ron Johnson, who passed away this last weekend. So it's those folks who have come before us and those that have been serving currently, that we acknowledge the work that they've done and dedicate this celebration to them. So, not much of a segue here, but obviously we are here to acknowledge the good work that's being done, to include bringing people on board this department. Now, you're going to see a lot of people getting pinned this evening. It isn't typical for the city of Fitchburg because of the fact that we've had some people on hold for a very long time. So over the past 2 years, we've had up to 6 interns who have been employed or are currently being employed by the city. And I'm going to ask that those interns come forward at this time. Manny Milkey, Cal McCreary, Austin Doberstein, Jacob Roche, Matt Sukamel, Brian Belzano, Molly Schultz, and Thomas Zalicki. You guys can come right up here because there's not a lot of room up here. And then do you know who's pinning you this evening? They don't have to come up just yet. You're going to get sworn at first, and then you'll be pinned. So at this time, they'll be sworn into their oath of office.
All raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name. Who have been appointed to the office of firefighter. In the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin. Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin. And will faithfully discharge the duties of said office. To the best of my ability. Congratulations.
All right, if we could have those that are going to be conducting the pinning ceremony, actually pinning the badges on these firefighters, step forward, please. All right, so those that are doing the pinning, you should have the badge in your hand, and go ahead and try to be very careful. We have All right, you guys can sit down. All right, we're brushing off the cobwebs. We're figuring it out as we go along, and The good news is we have the ability to do this. So we're going to bring up a few more people this time. These are our paid on call, paid on premises firefighters. Once again, representing those that have been starting their service over the past 2+ years. I'm going to be calling up Don Sparby, Brad Ritter, Nathan Wilson, Justin Schaefer, one of my favorite last names, Emily Schwarzenberger. I appreciate that. That's like one more syllable than Pulvermacher. Michael Urban, Garrett Christian, Dana Collins, Peter Gander, Jason Gonzalez. Guys can come right up. We'll do this the same way. They'll be receiving their oath of office, followed by family members. Whoever's going to be doing the pinning will come up to finish off that part of the ceremony.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name. You've been appointed to the office of firefighter. City of Pittsburgh, Maine, County, Wisconsin. Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin. And the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin. And will faithfully discharge the duties of said office. To the best of my ability. Congratulations.
If we could have those that are doing the pinning please step up. The next three that we're going to be calling up are folks that have been on our department for a while, have taken on a role of not only firefighter but career firefighter. This is their full-time job now. So although it sort of looks like we're pinning them for the first time, these 3 firefighters have been with us for a while and are now becoming career members. Calling forward David Zulke, Jesus Villagomez, and Scott Westfall.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name.
I,
So have been appointed to the office of firefighter,
been appointed to the office of firefighter,
City of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin.
City of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin.
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
Will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
If we could have those that are conducting the fitting ceremony, please come forward. Now, although not a sworn position and there's not necessarily an oath of office, I would like to call up Dave, one of our chaplains. He gets a badge too. And Dave, do you have somebody that's going to be conducting your pinning? Susie. All right. All right, that's going to bring us to our length of service awards. I'm going to have Deputy Chief Chad Grossen read off the names. The first group is our 2-year employees. Now, typically, with the 2 years, that covers their minimum skills training, their probationary period. It really marks the fact that they put in a lot of time and effort with this department in order to be active members. So the 2-year service pin is one of those things that basically brings them into the family just a little bit more, in the sense that it recognizes the work that they've done.
Thank you, Chief. So if you could please hold your applause until we call each member up per length of service. For 2 years of service, Firefighter Jesus Villagomez, Firefighter Mackenzie Forseth, Firefighter John Schnelly, Firefighter Alex Wickman, Firefighter Camden Parman, Firefighter Andrew Ott, Susie Geenan, firefighter Megan Myers, firefighter Jet Malice, firefighter Hans Schworer, firefighter Eric Thiessen, firefighter Corey Dahman, firefighter Michael Urban, firefighter Justin Schaefer, firefighter Cody Dieter, firefighter Emmanuel Milkey, firefighter Callahan McCreary, firefighter Nathan Wilson, firefighter Emily Schwarzenberger, firefighter Brad Ritter, and firefighter Donald Sparby. Please join me in the 2-year service awards. Thank you. No problem. Unless you... For 5 years of service. And we'll do these one at a time, per the chief. But I will still. No. Lieutenant Eric Wakeman. Firefighter Brandon Ryder. Congratulations, Brandon. Firefighter Andre Braun. Greg McCormick, Support Services. Firefighter Dustin Roeder. And last but not least, Chief Joe Pulvermacher. For 10 years of service, firefighter Kevin Kelm. Congratulations, Kevin. And Lieutenant Brad Way. For 15 years of service, Hunter Hill Support Services. And firefighter Adam Dorn. Congratulations, Adam. For 20 years of service, Division Chief Jeff Berman. Congratulations. For 25 years of service, Lieutenant David Berman. Congratulations, Dave. And also for 25 years, Jay Wilson, one of our fire investigators. Congratulations, Jay. And we have one last year of service pin, but unfortunately he could not be here with us tonight, and that is Robert Gessler for 40 years of service to the city of Fitchburg and its fire department. What's that? Yep.
Just making sure she didn't sneak in. Is Meredith here? One of the things that I do want to bring up is a certificate of appreciation. Meredith was our administrative services manager. She had been with the fire department for 13 years and the city for 15. She has gone above and beyond in so many different areas of readiness, response, and recovery. She's passionate about the work that she does, professional, and passionate, compassionate. The fact of the matter is that she's somebody who is an influencer and somebody who is a contributor. We were fortunate to have her dedicated effort, and we will miss her caring and charismatic nature. She will be missed, but her operational impact will remain. We respect her for her service, her leadership, and we have learned a lot from her. So although she's not here, I would like to extend an appreciation, a sign of appreciation to Meredith Shelton. That brings us to our primary and discretionary awards. Did you want to? Sure. So here's what we're going to do. We've got a couple of awards that we're going to be giving out. First of the awards is going to be for our Honor Guard. And I'll explain that in just a second. I just need to grab one of their certificates. The members listed in your program, Dave Berman, Rob Coonsey, Adam Dorn, Brian Hageman, Kevin Kelm, Dana Collins, and Ron Martin, were what we would consider plank owners of the Honor Guard. This is a service that was originated in 2011, and it continues to this day, its 10th anniversary. A plank owner is a founding member. It's a Navy term that recognizes members of a crew during the ship's commissioning. The Honor Guard's founding members saw the need for service and then invested the required time and effort to provide that service. The Fitchburg Honor Guard continues now and has. It's been sustained over the course of the long term, suggesting that the right people were available at the time that the call needed to be answered to sustain that effort. This duty is not always convenient, and it's oftentimes solemn. It's service above self, truly service above self. The performance of the Fitchburg Honor Guard is in the keeping of the finest traditions of the fire service and reflects credit upon the members, the unit, and the Fitchburg Fire Department. So it's at this time that I'm going to ask that those plank owner members of the Honor Guard step forward. As they come forward, what they are going to be presented with is a certificate acknowledging what they've contributed, and then they also get a service ribbon for their uniform. Take the ribbon away. There's a couple of awards that we are going to extend to those who aren't necessarily members of the fire department, but there's so many different aspects of our job that we couldn't do if it wasn't for their assistance. The first of which is going to be the Community Service Award. I'm going to ask Bill Balke, Public Works Director, to step forward. We're going to be presenting the Fitchburg Department of Public Works with our Community Service Award. What's important to note is the fact that at all hours of the evening, all hours of the morning, when we have situations that require cleanup or special heavy equipment assistance, they're our first call. They answer right away, and typically within an hour we have them on scene. And then don't even want to mention all of the things that they do around our buildings, our facilities, and our fleet, because that's every day, that's constant. The list would be exhausting. So it's at this time that I would like to extend to the Director of Public Works, Bill Balke, the Community Service Award.
Thank you, Chief, and the fire department and the community as a whole. Public Works, we really don't get a lot of recognition. We're the crew behind the scenes, so to say. But as the chief had mentioned, we show up in the middle of the night, and a lot of the values that the fire department has, our Public Works department has as well. Duty, honor, and humble service to the community. And I think the one that I'm most proud of is the humble service. There's nothing that anybody won't ask of us that we won't do. We go above and beyond, especially when we interact with our community members. And we provide all those services that are frankly taken for granted sometimes. So, just just from the fact that, you know, you get up in the morning, you're able to get to work, you know, because the streets have been plowed. You're able to brush your teeth in the morning because we took care of a water main break in the middle of the night. So it is a lot of work and sacrifice that our team has for the community. And just like the fire department, you know, we're one big family. I'm honored that, you know, the fire department has expressed this service award to us, just basically because it comes from our peers. And they know what we do, and we don't go out there and, you know, we aren't looking for the recognition, but we do really, really appreciate it, especially from our peers. So thank you, everyone, and the fire department.
I didn't even think about the plowed streets. I thought that was just a given, right? But I'll point to the two pictures that are on the screen, one of which was a garbage truck that was on fire, and had we not dumped the load in the middle of the street, we would have lost a $250,000 garbage truck. It was one call to Department of Public Works, who were able to assist us with loading all of that back up, clearing the street, and getting everything passable. And then we had a grain bin fire. And one of the things that I learned through that incident is the fact that grain bins are not silos and grain is not silage. Somebody called me the next morning to correct me. So the fact of the matter is we required a vac truck in order to put out a deep-seated fire. And once again, within an hour, they were there. So Bill, once again, thank you for everything that your department does, and please extend that to the rest of the crew. The next service award is actually being extended through a third party. The Professional Firefighters of Wisconsin Charitable Foundation has a media award, and the group that we work most closely with in the city is Fact TV. They've been recognized this year through the mayor, and really these are all of these are accolades that they deserve. So I'm going to bring the representative from Fact TV to come forward to accept their award. Yep, and just keep it panned like wide, and then you can come up here. Yes, or should I bring it to you? Oh wait, Adam's going to be your cameraman for a second. See, we just appreciate the work that you do, and see how important it is that. Almost took two people to do your job.
This wasn't in the script.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it, Chief. I don't need to make a speech, do I?
You don't have to.
Pose for my phone camera.
I'm going to have Deputy Chief Chad Grossen come up and explain the next couple of awards.
A unit citation commendation may be presented to members which shared a common assignment. The member or members of the department who performed a notable act of distinction in the performance of duty and reflects the integrity and devotion shown by the recipient. So we have actually two unit citations that we'll be recognizing tonight. The first one, a brief description of what happened. On November 18th of 2017, Fitchburg Fire Department Squad 2 and Utility 1 were requested mutual aid to a rollover crash on Highway 14 between Brooklyn and Evansville. Local responders special called Fitchburg Fire Rescue due to the extreme weight of a fully loaded semi-trailer. 3 departments were already on scene and could not remove or access a passenger vehicle that was under the trailer. The driver was alive and pinned inside. A slow, coordinated, and carefully executed rescue effort was required due to the position of the patient. Special lifting equipment and teamwork philosophy was required. One wrong move would have impacted scene safety. This difficult extrication was conducted with great experience and professionalism. The effort and skill of this rescue reflect credit upon the responding crew, their profession, and the Fitchburg Fire Department. So, when I read your name, would you like them all up here at once? please come forward. Division Chief Jeff Berman, Lieutenant David Berman, Lieutenant Dale Struckmeyer, Firefighter Adam Dorn, Firefighter Matthew Sutter, and Firefighter Kevin Kelm. The second unit citation. In 2020 and 2021, the City of Fitchburg responded to multiple technical rescue emergencies. The significance of these incidents was reflected in the Fitchburg Fire Department's ability to provide response and initiate procedures necessary to deliver patient care. Through responsible equipment acquisition and a dedicated training effort, firefighters had the competence. More importantly, the firefighters receiving this citation were able to apply incident management and skills with confidence. Although a coordinated technical rescue response is new to the Fitchburg Fire Department, their efforts reflect credit upon themselves, their profession, and the department. So will the following members approach when I call your name? Deputy Chief Rich Roth, Lieutenant Dale Struckmeyer, Lieutenant Eric Wakeman, Firefighter Matt Sutter, Firefighter Alex Wickman, Firefighter Dustin Roeder, Firefighter Jason Ladwig, Firefighter David Zulke, Firefighter Jeremy Brueggemann, Firefighter Andrew Ott, Firefighter Kevin Kelm, Firefighter Brad Ritter, Firefighter Emmanuel Milkey, Firefighter Nathan Wilson, Firefighter Jet Malice, Firefighter Emily Schwarzenberger, and Firefighter Steve Block.
And Deputy Chief Chad Grossen. One of the things that I would like to say, as it reflects upon both unit citations, both the tech rescue and the extrication assignment, is all too often, you know, it's when you're using skills that you've trained on for a long time, you can address things through competence. It's the confidence of actually being able to apply those skills that is being represented here tonight. With a new skill and with a new response mechanism, sometimes it's hard to pull the pin and figure out exactly when we should start using those skills and how quickly we should put them into action. All of these firefighters here today, in front of you right now, have exercised that ability to use their training at the appropriate time when we needed it the most. So that's why they are being recognized. Tech Rescue isn't something that we'll recognize every time with a unit citation, but these are the folks that did it first. So thank you all, and we'll be passing out those citations. We have not only the citation, but the service bar. All right. The next two awards that I have to present have to do with exceptional effort. Can I get Rob's? I'll say this about this next award. Lieutenant Kunze was nominated not by other officers, he was nominated by his crew. Safe to say that they look up to him for not only what he brings to the table every day in the way of response, but so many other things. For his continued dedication to the city of Fitchburg and its citizens and to the fire department and its firefighters. Lieutenant Kunze has distinguished himself in readiness and response through exceptional service. He serves as a leader, a mentor, an educator, and an influencer. His talents have been experienced in emergency management, in technical rescue, in peer support, and in his daily activities. His pride in professionalism and ownership in organization have been recognized by those that he reports to and those that report to him. He demonstrates a firefighter's capacity to serve, learn, respect, and lead. Lieutenant Kunze's performance is in keeping with the finest traditions of the fire service and reflects credit upon himself, his profession, and the Fitchburg Fire Department. Lieutenant Kunze, if you'll step forward, please. Rob's done a couple of marathons since that picture. The Chiefs Award. One of the things that I should point out is the fact that the award ceremony typically is conducted under a number of different, the way people are nominated are through their peers, through those that work in the fire department day to day. It doesn't necessarily come from command staff or from the chief. So a lot of these awards that you've seen given out today are not things that the command staff have determined to be the most recognizable in the way of the service that is provided, but through their peers and through an awards committee that ultimately says, yes, they are deserving and we want them to be recognized. This is the exception. The Chiefs Award is the one that I get to give out. It's the one that I get to select based on those that I feel have made an impact on the department. This award was pretty easy to select for a number of different reasons. Rich is one of those guys who will give you everything that he's got. Rich has been involved with this department for darn near 35 years. He served with the DNR before he came to us, and actually while he started working with the Fitchburg Fire Department. For his efforts in continually supporting the Fitchburg Fire Department in his role as Deputy Chief, he distinguished himself through exceptional service, performance of duty, immense responsibility, constant availability, and remarkable dedication. His impact was experienced by those he served with throughout his 34 years of service. The reputation of a fire department is built on the ability of its firefighters. Deputy Chief Roth's performance is in keeping with the finest traditions of the fire service and reflects credit upon himself, his profession, and the Fitchburg Fire Department. Rich puts in full-time hours and is a part-time employee. He puts well over 40 hours in a week, filling the car. He does it consistently, and he's reliable. Rich announced the fact that he will be stepping down from his position at the end of this year. And so, although this probably should have been awarded much sooner, I think no time like the present to recognize the exceptional service that has been provided and that we so greatly need. So, Rich, if you could step forward for our sign of appreciation. And with that, I will look for my clicker. I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Chief Grossen and Wes Coppersmith for the recognition of our 50th anniversary.
So the chief asked me to talk and speak on our 50th anniversary for the fire department, which when I sat there, I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I mean, to stand up here and relay what has happened over the last 50 years is quite a task. But Wes has been working the last 3 to 4 years on collecting a lot of information that we've had spread throughout the department and past members and current members. So what I'm about to read is Wes's hard work, and he's going to help me. We've attached some pictures to what he has culminated here that I'll read to you tonight. In 1970, the town of Fitchburg, which covered approximately 35 square miles, had a population of 4,074 and contracted with the town of Madison, Village of Oregon, and Village of Verona for fire protection. The cost of these services were based on a prorated portion of the equalized valuation of the areas that each department protected. It was in 1970 that the Fitchburg Town Board decided to form the Fitchburg Fire Department. The town board passed necessary ordinances, prepared a constitution and bylaws for the governance of the department, and the town chairman, William McKee, reached out to Herman Funn about becoming the fire chief. Once appointed, the new chief and a small group of volunteers set out to create a fire department leaning on his 26 years of experience in the fire service and information he gathered from his many contacts around the country to shape the organization. In 1971, operating out of 2 bays at the town public works garage, the department started independent operations with the 1966 International 1,500-gallon tanker and a 1970 Chevrolet Grass fire unit. A 1971 GMC step van was also purchased that year and used as an equipment truck and rescue squad. With the acquisition of a 1947 Persh 750-gallon per minute pumper later that year, they were able to begin providing protection for the area of the town previously serviced by the town of Madison. Realizing that this apparatus did not have the pumping capacity to maintain the required fire flow, the town board authorized the purchase of a 1972 Ford Persh 1,000-gallon per minute pumper, which was delivered the next year. That year, training also began in earnest as the fire chief was the only member of the department with any appreciable amount of firefighting experience. Training has been at the core of the fire department since that time. The department continues to take great pride in the quantity and quality of the training that's offered to its members. During this time, a new public safety building was under construction on Lacey Road. The department moved into the new building in December of 1972 and received the new Ford Persh pumper shortly thereafter. At that time, the department operated with 5 pieces of equipment and the staff of all volunteers consisting of a chief, assistant chief, 5 captains, 5 lieutenants, and 26 firefighters. The years of 1972 to 1975 were spent developing services to the town, a continuing emphasis on training, and in the improvement of fire protection provided by the department. The Fire Prevention Bureau was established in 1971 with the implementation of fire codes approved by the town board. 1980 saw a tremendous increase in demand for such services as fire inspections, plan approval, public fire safety education, employee training, and fire safety. As a result, this increased workload, the town appointed 5-year member Rick Travaskis as full-time fire inspector and fire prevention officer. He became the department's first full-time employee other than Chief Herman Funn, who had been hired as the full-time chief in 1977. In 1975, a new opportunity presented itself to the department. The Madison Area Technical College offered a 2-year associate degree program in fire science. While the college could provide the theory portions of the course, they did not have the facilities for providing practical experience. The students at MATC needed practical experience. The department needed additional daytime manpower and 24-hour central station dispatch capability. As a result, the opportunity to live, work, and learn in the fire department was offered to selected students at the college. Since the first 3 live-ins in 1975, Larry Huber, Stephen Sweeney, and Melvin Goodwin, over 140 students have participated in this program. The majority of these participants went on to careers in the fire service and public safety all over the United States. The late 70s and early 80s highlighted many examples of the dedication of department members as they demonstrated their skills and talents to customize vehicles into unique and valuable pieces of equipment. In 1976, they used their own time to convert the 1947 Persh pumper into a hose truck pumper with a reel for 1,600 feet of 4-inch large diameter hose. This was just the first of 4 times this truck was rebuilt to maintain its value to the town and later the city of Fitchburg. In 1979, they took an old Army surplus Dodge 4-wheel drive truck and converted it into a grass fire unit. They also removed and sold the old firefighting package from the 1970 Chevrolet chassis that was formerly the grass fire unit to help pay for the new squad body they designed, built, and installed on that truck. This unit carried the heavy rescue tools, a cascade unit capable of filling air bottles and air-powered equipment at emergency scenes and providing lighting services among its many applications. In 1980, brought an innovation to the department in the form of computerization of alarm response information and department records. This again was made possible by tremendous efforts of department members in conducting various events to raise the necessary funding to purchase this equipment, which they donated to the department. Also in 1980, a new tanker designed by the department was the first of its kind in the fire service and was purchased. This unit, with a 1,500-gallon water-carrying capacity, had both left and right discharge chutes as well as one in the back of the truck. It was mounted on a 1980 International chassis with an automatic transmission. Upon delivery of this unit, the 1966 tanker was sold. The proceeds of this sale were used to defray part of the cost of a second identical tanker in 1981. Both the town of Fitchburg and the department continued to grow. In 1976, more apparatus was added to the department. The town board authorized the purchase of a Persh 1,000-gallon per minute custom pumper and a Persh Quint equipped with a 1,000-gallon per minute pump and an 85-foot aerial ladder. With the addition of this equipment, and after much public discussion and debate, the department took over fire protection for all of the town, with the exception of sections 25 and 36 on March 16th of 1976, which was down in our southeast corner near Oregon. These sections were still protected under the Oregon Fire Department, adjacent to them because of excessive travel distance to get there. This arrangement remained in place until Station 2 was built in 1994. By 1990, the population of the town of Fitchburg had grown to 11,915, and the fire department had handled 146 calls that year. To deal with the growth of the fire department, they also had to grow and adapt to the changing environment. Having appointed Herman Fund as its first-time fire chief in 1977 and having hired its first-time employee, Rick Travaskis, in 1980, the department hired its first female firefighter, Cynthia Osrud, in 1981. As it continued to grow through the 80s, the still young department spent many hours drilling and studying firefighting and continued on the national certification program for all firefighters. As the city of Madison began to encroach upon the town of Fitchburg via annexation, the town pursued incorporation as a city to halt Madison's expansion into the town. The fight to allow incorporation ultimately went to the Wisconsin State Supreme Court, which ruled in favor of Fitchburg, and it was incorporated as a city on April 26, 1983. Now a city, Fitchburg continued to grow. The population had grown to 15,952 in 1990, and it started to become apparent that the fire department needed to address its staffing model. The department continued to be staffed by volunteers, most of whom were not available to respond during the workday. While there had not been any incidents in which injury or increase of property loss could be attributed to lack of manpower or slow response time, there was increased concern about sustainability of that model. In late 1986, Fire Chief Larry Huber had submitted a document to then Mayor Jeannie Seelig outlining 5 options to address these staffing and response concerns. One of those options, the assignment of city employees from other departments to respond with the fire department to emergencies, was implemented in 1990. At that time, 3 Public Works employees, Lois Enders, Jeff Furman, and Mark Hodel, were trained and made available to respond during their normal workday. There were several complications with the program, including interference with employees' normal job duties and concerns about overtime pay generated by them attending after-hours training with other firefighters. The program was eventually ended by interim Fire Chief Cy Hertzler in 1997. The following major fire at Greenway Cross Apartment Complex in January of 1994 had a very public discussion and heavy media scrutiny about an all-volunteer department being capable of meeting the needs of a growing city. Chief Huber attributed the delay response to that incident to the department's staffing. At the time of the Shelley Gardens fire, the department had 3 full-time employees, a fire chief, deputy fire chief, and business manager, and about 50 active volunteers. The idea of transitioning from all-volunteer department to a full-time force was raised again as a result of subsequent large fire at 4913 Shelley Gardens Road in February 1994. At that time, Fitchburg Mayor Doug Morissette said that the process of turning the Fitchburg Fire Department into a completely full-time force would happen incrementally. He also said that he planned to include 2 full-time firefighters in his 1995 budget. As the department celebrated its 25th anniversary in 1995, the department unveiled its mission statement to protect our citizens and guests through education, engineering, and efficient response. The efficient response included staffing levels and response capabilities to the department. During 1995, the department responded to 557 calls for service. These basic principles continue to guide the department to this day. In 1995, the department also welcomed its first 2 full-time firefighters, Will Pedersen in April and John Bird in July. They worked from Monday through Friday. The additional full-time firefighters positions were added in 1997, 2002, 2004, 2006, and 2016. There are currently 14 full-time officers and firefighters. On January 1st of 1999, service delivery was substantially enhanced when Station 1 was staffed 24/7 with a 4-person engine crew. This change lowered the average response time to 5 minutes and 30 seconds that year. This staffing was and still is accomplished utilizing a combination of full-time pay-on-call and engine firefighters. By the year 2000, population of Fitchburg had grown to 20,554, and the department now handled 776 calls for service with staff that consisted of full-time chief, full-time captain, 4 full-time firefighters, 6 fire science interns, and 38 paid-on-call firefighters. Fire protection for the city took another leap forward on April 7th of 2003 when the department began to staff Station 2 24/7 with a 4-person engine crew. The 2010 U.S. Census indicated that Fitchburg's population had grown to 25,260. That year, the department responded to 1,315 calls for service, an 11% increase over the previous year. By 2018, the population had again shown growth to an estimated 29,485 and had calls increased to 2,103. Over these first 50 years, the department has continued to grow and adapt to the changing environment. The current staff consists of a full-time chief, a full-time deputy chief, 12 full-time officers and firefighters, 6 fire science interns, 41 paid-on-call, paid-on-premises officers and firefighters, and 12 support staff members. So I will now also share with you our past chiefs. There have been 7 fire chiefs and 1 deputy chief in Fitchburg Fire since Town Board Chairman William McKee asked Herman Fund about creating a fire department. Herman Fund, 1970 to 1982, Chief Fund oversaw the creation and early development of this department, and on January 1st, 1970 became its first full-time chief. He served until he retired in 82. Chief Fund passed away in 2019. Matthew White, 1982 to 1983. Chief White was one of the original members of the fire department and was deputy chief prior to taking over the interim fire chief. He remained with the department until 1991. Chief White passed away in 2011. Larry Huber, 1983 to 1995. Chief Huber was one of the 3 original live-in firefighters when the program was created by the fire department in 1975. He later served as the department's training officer. He returned as fire chief in 1983 and served for 12 years until leaving to become the Sheboygan Fire Department's Commander for Research, Development, and Training in November of that year. Chief Huber passed away in 2006. Simon Hertzler, 1995 to 1998. Chief Hertzler, who had previously served Fitchburg as deputy chief, was asked to come out of retirement to run the department following Larry Huber's resignation by Mayor Douglas Morissette. He guided the department on an interim basis until a search for a new full-time chief was completed in August of 1998. Chief Hertzler passed away in 1999. David Fulmer, 1998 to 2002. Chief Fulmer came to the Fitchburg Fire Department in August of 98, having previously served as an assistant fire chief at the Village of Savoy, Illinois Fire Department. He served until April of 2002. When he left here to become the fire chief of the Miami Township Division of Fire and EMS in Miamisburg, Ohio. Chief Fulmer currently resides near Columbus, Ohio. Randall Pickering, 2002 to 2014. A longtime member of the department who had last served as deputy fire chief, Chief Pickering was asked to return as interim fire chief following the departure of David Fulmer in April of 2002. On January 1st, 2007, he was appointed fire chief classified as paid on call. He resigned in January 2014 when he moved away from Fitchburg. Chief Pickering currently resides in Edgerton as the Edgerton fire chief. And then there's this guy, 29 years ago. I became the acting chief following the resignation of Chief Pickering. All I can say is during that time, if it wasn't for every member of this department to step up, I don't know if I'd be here yet today, including Meredith when it comes to budget time. You truly don't know what the position is until you sit in that chair. But I want to thank everybody that was on the department during that time that helped me through that. And there was plenty of things that have already been started prior to me taking the acting chief position. But we kept them going through, and we pretty much got what we had been working hard for. So thank you to all the members of this department during that time. And the most I want to thank is my wife, Gina, and my two kids, Emma and Gabe, for me not being at home a lot during that time. I'm truly blessed by having you there and supporting me. So thank you. And then, last but not least, and I am very happy that he is here, and thank you for applying, is Chief Joe Pulvermacher. He had previously served as a battalion chief of training at the Oak Creek Fire Department and came here to become our chief in January of 2016. So, I know I've been up here talking a lot, but I have to thank some people. First, Wes Coppersmith. Thank you very much for your hard work on this. But we'd also like to thank the current and former members of the department who provided information, memories, and insights for their assistance in completing this document. A special thanks goes out to Wayne Ashbach, who is an invaluable resource regarding past and current apparatus and staff vehicles. We'd also like to thank Roger Bjorgi, the City of Fitchburg Human Resources Department, Jeremy Crosby of Fact TV and his staff, Jack Pearson of the City of Fitchburg Building Inspection Department, Mark Hodel of the Public Works, and the Fitchburg Historical Society for their assistance. And if anybody has any additional information that we may have possibly missed or that is an error, please bring it to our attention, and because we want to make sure this document is complete and factual. With that, Chief Pulvermacher, for your last words, and thank you for your time.
So if there's one thing that can be said, and I think it was evident throughout that presentation, this is a labor of love. I think many of the people that are here for some very real reasons, but most of which is because of the fact that they want to take care of the community and each other. So with that, it's been a great honor to be able to serve as the fire chief for this organization for a number of different reasons. And you can point to our core values: honesty and integrity, pride and ownership, passion and professionalism, our mission to serve, learn, respect, and lead, and then our vision as far as wanting to be the best in our industry. Seriously, think about that for a second. To be the standard bearer for those that work around you, to be able to provide the best example, and to put every effort into the work that's done every single day, not when it's convenient, but when it's needed. So with that, thank you for celebrating with us. Thank you for coming in this evening. Please take advantage of the refreshments that we have. We've ordered enough cake for everybody. And thank you once again for your continued service, if you're a member or a past member. And thank you for your continued support for those that know the work that goes into the fire service. Mayor Richardson, thanks again for your assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, this ceremony has concluded, and we will be sticking around for a little bit if you have any additional questions. Thank you.